I'm Dick Solis from bearsolis.com, and today we're going to build a grass mat. These grass mats, they can be used for laying out in fields. You can camouflage your boat with them, do whatever you want with them. It's a simple mat. It's about 4 feet high, 4 feet long. They're made out of canary grass or whatever you have available. Anything that grows along the road, basically, that's legal to use in your state, you can make them. So anyways, what we have here is just a wood frame I made up. The wood frame is 7 feet high, top to bottom, 42 inches across. What I did was put it all together, brace it up a little bit. These I've never tried before. These are to help hold the mat up because the mat has weight and it kind of pulls the strings down. You can't get a good tight twist on them. These are little blocks I put on here. They're 8 inches apart, and this is what holds the rope that is going to hold the mat together. So I'll show you real quick how I put these on. I've got regular old baling twine here, binder twine, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to make a loop in it, just a simple loop. Okay, and we'll pull that through there. This loop I make kind of small, just so it holds on there better. This is something I'm doing a little bit different than I've done it before, but we'll see if it all works. I'm hooking that onto one of these screws hanging out at the end. Now, I've got these little bent over nails on the bottom here. Now all I did was just put that right through the nail. We're going to bring it up here. And that's about where the loop is going to be. Set the knife down. We'll make another loop right here. It's just a simple loop. Get this off the nail. Put it on there. Cut it off. Now, I have some rubber bands here, just some any size, any old rubber band will do it. I'm going to hook the rubber band on here, and hook the rubber band through here. Now all that does is hold our strings at the 8 inches apart. I've got the 8 inches marked off here. So we're all set to go now. So now, I have back here some canary grass I cut along the road. I've let it dry out a few days. Got to get all that weight out of it. So we're going to grab that grass and just set it over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and this works real good with two people also, I'm going to take a little wad of canary grass, just, what have I got here? 8, 9 stalks of it. Kind of square it up a little bit on the bottom. And we're just going to lay this canary grass, we're going to take it right through here. And we're just going to figure, we wanted about that. Want our mat about that high, that's good. Actually, I'll move it over a little bit, okay. Now we've got some canary grass in there. We're going to take these right here, and we're just going to give them a twist. Okay, now I have a 1/2 inch steel rod here. That steel rod just goes up in here, bring it down here. Now what this does, this tightens up that knot right there. And our rubber bands are doing a nice job holding it about 8 inches apart here. If it's not exactly 8 inches, that's fine. Make sure that your twine lines up here. You don't want your twine off center like that, you won't get a tight knot. So just take your twine like this. This is something to do at home. This isn't for production, although this is how guys used to make them. So we're just going to go now. Take 2 more of these. And here's where you can do something. You can either lay all these one direction if you want, or sometimes for out in the field, you're going to lay them 2 different directions. So I'm going to go just one direction on this. We'll just get it in here. In just a second here, we're going to get our help over here, and she's going to hand me these pieces of grass. It's in there real nice. Go through. Now you can either twist them the same direction or the other direction, doesn't matter. Whatever direction you want to, give them that little twist. Make sure everything's all lined up. Take your rod out of here. slip it into here. Now we're just going to do this all the way up until we get to the top. Okay, everything's all good here. You might want to even just let it drop down on there, that's fine. All it does is tighten this up. So, that's what we're going to do. We're going to build this up here, and you'll see when I get up so high here, I'm going to be lifting that onto here to set it on, set the grass on here, take the weight off of the string. So, let's get our help over here. Caleb, let's make some mats. I'm going to show you how to do this, okay? Okay. Now, I've got this thing built up a little bit here. The rubber bands are starting to stretch out on the bottom here. You don't want to get too much tension on this because those rubber bands are going to keep this from pulling down tight. So what I'm going to do here is just simply cut the rubber band. We have plenty of them. That's it. So now it came up a little bit after I did that. Now the thing is just kind of free floating in here, but we're going to be able to keep everything tight. And you got to kind of watch too. Make sure your twisted lines here are kind of straight going up and down. So it looks like we're running a little bit close on this one. I'll just have to move this over just a little bit. So that should take care of it. Okay, so now we've got this mat built up a little bit here, and just a little bit of weight on it there. It's starting to stretch out the strings just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this out like this. Let's see, I'll turn it this way. Like this. I'm just going to set it up on these. This is just supported. When I get up to about here again, I'm going to roll it all up. And I'll set it on these. That just keeps the weight off it, keeps these strings from stretching out. We can make a nice tight mat this way. So, okay, let's have some more. Okay. Run this through here. Right now I'm using up some of my shorter scrap here because we went from one armful. We're going to have to go to the next one now because it takes a lot of grass to do this, more than you would think. So, and let's just check with Kayla. Kayla, how are we doing over here? This is my grass girl, Kayla. She's bundling it all up. Oh, this is getting kind of... Okay, so now we're getting up a little bit high here again. We've gone quite a ways. We've got some weight. It's stretching out the strings here a little bit more than it should. So we're going to shove this in here. Good. I've also got a little bit wide here, so I'll have to bring these back a little bit. Yeah, Kayla, come here, hand me another thing. Grass here? Got to have a grass girl. Kayla's fantastic for that. Okay, we'll put this one last one in here, and we're going to lift this critter up. Another thing is this here and right here, with the tassels and stuff on it, is a little bit thinner than this end right here. So back a ways here, I just took a little bit of grass, folded it in half, just ran it in these two strings here, made this thicker so that I can catch up with this side. Give this a twist, and I'll drop the bar in there, then we're going to move it up. Okay. I can roll this up. And of course, if your friends see you doing this, you can always tell them that you're trying out for that TV show, the one where they drop the people naked in the middle of nowhere, you know, and they have to survive for 21 days, or Survivor or something. I'll tell them whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Let's have another piece of grass here. Okay. There you are. Took the pressure off it. Now, you just start all over again. We're almost done with this. Now, the nice thing is, with these mats, you can stop them anytime. If you want when it's only 2 feet long, fine, stop it down here, unhook this, tie it off, make it whatever length you want. And then, the other thing is, suppose you want it longer. Okay, you need a 10-foot mat. Well, it's only 4, you can maybe get 5 feet long. But when I finish this, you're going to see that I'm going to stop right up in here somewhere, tie it off. You're going to have a lot of string left over. So you can tie 2 mats together. That's all it is. But these are cheap. They're not hard to make. It's something, you know, you can do, you and your buddies or your kids or whatever, on a Saturday or something, make up enough for a whole season. The other thing is on these, and with this canary grass, if you take care of them, in other words, they get wet, don't leave them rolled up, just roll them out at home when you get home, dry them out, and then you can roll them back up or whatever you're going to do with them. And I've had these mats last 3, 4, 5 seasons, no problem, just if you take care of them. As the colors turn in the marsh sometimes, if you're using these in a marsh, and a lot of times what we do is we'll use these on top of our blind. We'll just lay them, roll them open between the hunters to cover up that opening in the top of our boat blind. Well, this is pretty white color, especially towards the end of the season. It gets real light, glossy looking. You can take a can of camouflage spray paint, any flat colored paint, green, tan, whatever, brown, and just go over this with that spray paint. And that paint will hold pretty good. You make it through the season, but it just makes it darker, takes the glare off it, makes it look a little bit more natural. Because these things have so many uses for hunting, it's just unreal. We've actually had birds come and land almost right on top of them, geese in the field. Oh, need some more grass, Kayla. That's not too heavy. Yeah, we've had geese. For some reason, the birds just don't flare these things, like they do a lot of other blinds and stuff. But they just come in fearlessly as long as you can lay still under them. The only problem you might have in a field is throwing them off you and all the excitement and everything else. But whoop, screw that up. That's okay. I'm used to my screw-ups. There we go. Okay, it's getting a little tighter now as we go up here. So, move that string over a little bit. Got the next one? Okay, so now I'm getting up kind of high on this, and I don't know, we've got a few feet of it made here. But if you notice right in here, as we get up higher, it's harder to tighten up these knots. Even with the bar in here, these knots are kind of loose. The reason for that is you've got this angle from the blocks up here. It's just harder and harder to tighten this up. So I'm going to put in about 3 more of these wads of grass here, and then we're going to take it down. Yeah, we'll see what we got here. Hopefully we'll have a nice little mat for hunting. Another thing you want to watch too, and I didn't do it here, is, okay, I've been turning these all clockwise. This is just a screw going up in here and a washer on top. It's just a screw going up there holding it. You turn it clockwise, it keeps the screw tight. But if you want your strings to run straighter and get a nice tight mat, do a couple of them clockwise, do one counterclockwise, a couple more clockwise, one counterclockwise. That'll help tighten things up and it'll keep your strings running a little bit straighter. The only reason you want your strings running straight is it keeps the mat tighter as you go. Let's have some more grass. Okay, we're going to put in the last piece right now, the last wad of these. Twist here. Then I'm going to show you how I tie it off. And you know, in all honesty, I think this is the hardest part of the whole thing, is tying this off at the end. You still got to keep your strings all pretty tight. So, get down as tight as I can. Take this out. We'll start with this guy right here. Unhook it. Pull it down as tight as you can. That's nothing more than just a simple half hitch knot going in here. Tighten it down. Way tight. You can see I have squeezed that down pretty tight in here. Okay, just tighten it up way tight. That's all you need right there. Now we'll take this guy off the end. Same thing. Tighten him down. By the way, you know, if you know a farmer that has probably dairy and he's using regular old bales, the little 60-pound bales or whatever, when he feeds his cows, they usually cut these strings off and they hang them all on a hook or something. Then they take them all and they burn them. Well, just so you know, you need some quick camouflage for your blind or boat. See that farmer? Get a couple handfuls of these. Get yourself some dye out of your local grocery store or whatever. Mix it up in some hot water. Throw that big pile of strings into it, whether it's green or you can mix the colors, make it drab or whatever. Throw the strings into it. let it sit overnight, take them out, dry all these strings, and this makes fantastic camouflage on your boat. Just something else you can do a little bit different, especially in a pinch, since sometimes some of your commercial grasses are a little bit hard to get a hold of, like right now they are. Okay, here we go. Like I said, we got a lot of extra string on the ends here, so you can tie mats together or hook them up however you want. Extra knot in there. So what we have here now is one genuine, homemade, handmade camouflage mat that's just about 4 feet high. I'd say that's about 44 inches. There it is. There is your mat. What more can you ask for? Natural cover, put to use, doesn't cost anything. Your major cost is building the loom right there. So that is it. Go hunting, have fun, kill birds, do whatever, be safe, but have a good time. And now you have one more little trick in your handbook.